Check. Yeah, we're good. All right, stand by. Can you do this on Mondays? So if I say we're doing this on Mondays? Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ready? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is a Monday edition of YSN's Power Hour, and it's all brought to you thanks to our friends at Toyota of Warren. Hey, we got a nice, friendly surprise for you. Nothing means nothing.
Oh, yeah. Nice to see you today, DJ Yoakley.
The head ball coach, America's coach, is here with us, Andy Hake, and he joins us every Monday here on the YSN Power Hour to break down the weekend that was. And my friend, what a great weekend it was for you and the Flying Eagles, the Screaming Eagles of Valley Christian.
You got that right, DJ. No, the kids played really hard. They've been playing hard all year. But, yeah, we got another win on Friday. Really excited. We played East Palestine. We got Wellsville this week. So about an hour from now, I'm going to go and get the team ready and start breaking some things down. But yeah, it's good to see you. Good to be back.
Good to see you, man. Hake's Take's always the highest rate of the year. People just want to hear what you... Because I think the difference is, Coach, is you cut people straight. You shoot people straight. So when you... See, we were just talking about this. Hake-mania gone wild.
You better believe it, brother. Hey, no, I just appreciate having the opportunity to talk some football with you, having some insight. You know, I just... It's fun, man. It's high school football. We're in the valley, man. You know what I mean? And gunned up for another season, and a lot of good teams in the area.
Yeah.
A lot of fun games. You know, got some big games this week. Poland, South Range. That's a big one.
I think that's as big. Well, I should say it's as big as it gets, but I think you had Fitch and Ursuline this week as well.
Fitch and Ursuline.
That's scary.
They're just getting. We're just getting in the second half of the season. You see who's for real. And there's a lot of parity in football, you know. So it's every game counts, and there's great matchups.
Can you believe the first half's over already?
No, I can't. And I'm excited for the second half. I really am for several reasons. September's for pretenders, November's for contenders. You know what I mean? But I think that, from our team's perspective, I have 3 seniors on the team. And 2 were banged up last week. So I had 1 senior playing.
Yeah.
And it's not a poor us thing. I just have had an opportunity to get a lot of young kids a great time the first 5 games of the year. I only have 3 seniors, So it's been really a roller coaster ride from the beginning of the year to now, just getting guys quality time and getting quality reps and teaching young kids. At one time we had 10 sophomores start on defense. Just kids learning how to play varsity football. It's football, but there's a difference when an 18-year-old gets his hands on a 15-year-old, and it's like, hey guys, we got to figure this out, and when we figure it out, is you do it. And our kids are real brave, and they're getting better every week, and we're excited about the back half.
And that's what I love about kind of what you bring to the table is most people would sit there and they'd say, yeah, we only have 3 seniors. It's going to be a tough year, challenging. I mean, you embrace that.
It's fun.
You see the young kids getting these reps, valuable reps at the varsity level. But you also see what next year and the year after looks like for you, because these reps now are going to pay off, maybe not next week, maybe next year, maybe 2 years from now, when these kids are 3-year letter winners and they're doing great things not only for their football team but their community because they feel invested.
Yeah, we talk about that, but you know what? We live in the now, and I tell the kids, hey, you're going to be good with experience, and next year we're worrying about now. Be good now, because you can be.
Fair enough.
And we had our struggles here earlier in the season in a couple of games. Even right after bat with Crestview, we had our, there's adversity in every game. Mm-hmm. Every game has its own story.
Sure. And
then we played LeBray with 7-0 in the fourth quarter, and I haven't had a game like that where we completely kept shooting ourselves in the foot. But it was a learning process, for the kids, for me as a coach. I've been doing it a long time, but you see things in every game. Whether you've done it for 1 year or, my 23, 25 years.
Yeah.
It's like there's something you learn. You can learn in every game. And you really learn when you lose. You don't learn much when you win, but you learn when you lose. And then, when you lose some tight games and kids are frustrated because penalties and self-inflicted wounds and turnovers and things that they can control. We have 9 touchdowns called back this year in 5 games. And that's not a poor us. that's guys. We got to fix this.
Yeah.
That's something we can control. We can
Holding
control.
calls or what?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's kids, and I love my kids. They play their butts off, and they're very cooperative. They want to win. It's just learning to do little things throughout the week. That's what it comes down to. When you have a young group of kids, you can't get away with some. Last year we had a veteran group of kids, and you can't get away with some of the things that you did. And when you have those older kids, you shouldn't be doing things anyway to try to get away with things. But you could definitely see, hey, we have a younger team, and we're learning by the numbers. But no, I like our chances here in the back half. We got to play some ball, though. We got some tough games coming up, and some teams that are going sky high right now. So we got to play ball.
You guys are the defending EOAC champs. I mean, do you how much time do you spend with that, telling these kids, hey, you got a target on your back. People are gunning for you.
Well, every week. Yeah. Everybody's going to give you the best shot. And then when you watch people on film and then you watch how they play us, they sometimes what you see on film, most of the time, they're doing other things.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're getting away from what they're doing, but they're definitely giving us some looks that a lot of cover zero, and they're not playing cover zero in other games. And it's just, it's a factor where we have to embrace it. We embrace it. Our kids are from Youngstown. I tell them every day, you're the toughest kids from the toughest city in the country. So, let's see your form.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people are going to doubt you. People are going to say this and that about you, but you have to overcome people's stereotypes. And you have to overcome, real talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Real talk. I got tough kids, but a lot of them come from tough situations. And you have to be empathetic too. There's a difference. Hey, you can't feel bad for people, but you need to have empathy and understand that people. Some people have tough situations, and we're supposed to be the teachers and the leaders and the mentors. So have empathy in your heart. So I coach them like hell during the game and during the week. There's no doubt about it. But we also have a very empathetic staff that cares about the kids, picks them up, takes them home, feeds them. We got great staff. So I love our team, and I love what we're doing there, and a lot of big things are going on in the school. They're trying to announce that they're trying to build a stadium, and
that's unreal.
Legends Field, man, Southside Coliseum, cream of the crop,
cream of the crop,
cream of the crop. But,
I mean, when you first heard that, and it's been a couple years in the making, right?
Yeah.
And we still got a couple more till it's actually implemented. But when you look at that, what does that do for a program? We talked about Real Talk, and these kids are looking for people to get them home at night. They're looking for positive role models. They're looking for role models in general. When they can call that home, what does that do to the psyche?
It's a beacon of light in Gotham. Youngstown is a tough city. When we practice, and I'm not saying it poor us or we're harder than other people because of it, but part of me thinks they are. You know what I mean? They're going to South High every day. It's a tough part of town. I've coached at Mineral Ridge. I've coached at in the city of Youngstown, at Rain and East, at Western Reserve, and now here. And this is a tough environment, and the place is a historic place.
Yeah.
But there's times that I think it looks like it got bombed in Dresden in World War II. So, it's I'm appreciative to be there, and I think a lot of the school, Mike Pecchia and Dolph Carroll and those guys running the school, they're good people. They're good people, and they want what's best for the kids.
They care.
They're trying to put the kids in a situation where they're proud of, where they're from and what school they're going to, and I think some really interesting things are going to happen to Valley Christian in the next few years. I think that place could really take off.
I mean, you look at that. That's what, a $10 million project for.
God, and you know what? They laid out a dream. I think we just acquired the property though from the city.
Yeah.
So it's they're moving. It's just going to move in steps and progress. And something like that is going to take a lot of bureaucracies, and it's going to take some time and gathering the fiscal matters. It's just it is what it is. But the dream's there, the vision's there. They're trying to implement it. I give them a lot of, they're trying, a lot of people give up on trying. They're trying like heck. And the city is now kind of behind them. So it's an interesting turn of events.
Let's talk about the state of football here in this area, man. When you look at football, to me, and you can tell me if I'm completely off kilter here, but I feel like this year is a lot more competitive.
Yeah.
Just in general. Than other years.
There is a lot of parity. you could go league by league and you'll see a lot of parity.
Yeah.
You know, from the NE8, MVAC, the league I'm in. You know what I mean? Now, and there are some. There's always going to be some top dog teams.
Yeah.
There's always going to be, until South Range loses a game, don't bet against them.
Right.
I played them for years. I went to Mineral Ridge. We played in the old ICL. Then I started coaching at Mineral Ridge, and Yeagley took over, and they were formidable then. And then, they created the ITCL, and I thought that was a great conference. I wish that conference was back together.
Yeah.
Because it was those two leagues merged into one, and there was an upper tier, lower tier. I know there was some, arguing over who's going to be at the top of the bottom and who's going to be at the bottom of the top of the tiers, and people want to win. Hey, people got to realize this about football, especially high school football. And they can say it's just a game, but levies are passed.
Yep.
There's a lot of things, and I'm not saying it's just on football, but it's not like putting up a levy during a great season, and then the people going and feeling good and going in to vote.
Yep.
Or the opposite. Things are miserable, and then it's the State of the Union is miserable, and then people are going to go vote, and they got misery on their mind.
Yep.
But football really facilitates spirits and good feeling in the town.
Goodwill.
And goodwill. And you know what? What is a community, really, in general? We have all these little towns. If there's not a school there, it's not a community.
Yeah.
The school is the community. And the front porch of the school is the sports.
Yep.
So if your sports team's awful, I'm just talking about reality.
It's true.
If your sports teams are awful, I'm not saying you have to have a great football, but something we can hang our hat on and say, this is our front porch, and we're proud of this.
Yeah.
And then we're going to make some sacrifices for this. And if people aren't willing to do that, then there are communities that do, and you see those communities flourish, and it is what it is. I'm not saying you have to have a 10-0 football season all the time, but damn it, what do you guys value? And if you're going to value the kids and their activities, there's nothing better.
But so in a year like this, where you see so much competitive sports, especially in football,
It's crazy.
it's a nice year for a levy because
Awesome.
you see that every school's got a chance. I mean, you look at some of these leagues, and like some will say mediocrity, and I say competitive.
Very.
You know what I mean? Because there's a difference. Mediocrity is, okay, everybody's kind of hanging around the bottom, then there's one team that's at the top and just
Right.
blazing the trail. There's a lot of teams that are jockeying for position heading into the second half, what you call contender season
Yeah.
of each league. So when you look at not just yours, but everybody's, what does it take in the second half of a football season to get your team not only believing, but believing that no matter who they go up against, what odds are against them, that they're able to shine through?
I think it's expectations from the beginning, and it's also, people play people early on in the season to get experience. And some people look at that. It's how you're looking at it. If you're a team that hasn't, or a program that's not used to winning, you want to probably try to schedule some people that you can beat
Sure.
and get momentum. Then there's established programs like Springfield. They go play South Range week 1. Then they play Geneva. Well, South Range knows what or Springfield knows what it's about.
Yeah.
So they're not afraid to go play. Hey, we're 1-2. Now the league's ours. Go get the league. And I think that's how they're looking at it. Look, they beat, Waterloo, and then was it Matthews?
Yeah.
I mean, they beat them hard. And I'm not saying, they got a tough game against Jackson Milton this week. But if I'm a betting man, I watched Springfield against Brookfield. I'm not saying Jackson Milton can't win, but historically, if you're going by history, it's on the side of Springfield.
Jackson Milton looks good, though, man.
They're tough.
Their air attack is
unreal. No. They're tough, and they have players, and they're playing hard. And I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
I think Jackson. I know Brody's done a good job. I used to play against him when I was at reserve.
Yeah.
Get the kids to play hard. I'm just kind of talking historically. Mogador's not afraid to go play people.
No, do you like that when team because you keep saying South Range against Green week 2 or whatever that was. I mean that's
really tough.
That's
like
3
playing,
divisions up, and that's a federal league
like
team.
Playing this is Division 2.
Yeah.
It's like playing Harding or Fitch.
Yeah.
Or Boardman.
Yep.
Aren't they 2?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if South Range went out and played Fitch and lost, was it 17-7 or what was the final score?
Yeah, 21-7. Yeah.
Okay, well, they should be really proud.
Yeah.
We played really hard against a school that has triple R enrollment. And it's no slight to them. You learn a lot. I bet you ask Rock, what'd you learn? He'd tell you what he learned in that game. You know what I mean? And I learn a lot more when I lose. because you learn about yourself, you learn about your team. You know, when you're winning, everybody's up.
What you do well and what you don't.
Right.
Right.
I mean, what are we being exposed to? And when you're playing good teams early, you know, I always thought play good teams early. You know, Crestview historically is a really good team. We played them one. LeBray was down last year, but they're playing better this year. Mm-hmm. And the last few years before that, they've been good. Brookfield's always a tough team. So we play Crestview, LeBray, Brookfield. We're going to try to play teams, always try to play teams where, hey, look, we can compete. You're not going to get whacked. Yeah. But for South Range to say we're going to go play Green, they feel in their hearts we can play them. So, and you know what? They did. Yeah. And whether they beat them or not, they played them, and you play them hard. It's like, you know, how many teams around this area want to go play Kirtland in the first 3 games? No one's calling Kirtland to play them. And I'm not being mean about it. It's just, you know, because that's a team that can, hey, we have a good team, but they might rip our face off. And then we get guys banged up, or we lose morale. And it happens, you know. And, you know, Mogador plays people, like I said, right away. And they're playing. You look at their schedule year in, year out. I don't know how they do it. They go 8-2, 9-1, or 10-0, and they're playing dogs. You know, just in this area, Canfield plays people. You know, they're playing people. Fitch played Ignatius. Warren Harding to me is someone that's always, you know, Warren Harding to me is like, I always feel that Warren Harding's, because, you know, Youngstown has a few schools. Sure. Mooney, Ursuline, Cheney, East, Valley Christian. Yeah. There's a lot of schools right there just in Youngstown. Yep. Warren, you grow up and you want to be a Raider. Unless you went to Kennedy or there's some reason. Nothing against Kennedy's, a perennial power too in their division. But Warren Harding, I just feel is always in this area. You know, it's like I look at Harding and I say, man, that's, you know, I know they've been down a little bit.
You look at look at the tradition, Manningham. I mean, Claret. Some of those guys
Herons. You could go all the way back to Paul Warfield. You can go through like decades ago. Yeah. Warren Harding has guys that come out of there. Was Stringer from Warren Harding? Corey Stringer.
I believe so. Yeah.
And they had dudes. Provit. I mean, you could go through the year. Warren Harding to me, and you know, I know they're down a little bit, but they open up with McKinley. Then they're always playing people. Ursuline plays people. You know what I mean? They're always playing people.
Would you rather err on the side of playing a big school and learning about yourself and taking an L than going out and getting a tune-up game for a conference game, like, say, week 3 going into week 4?
I think it's, where is your team at?
Yeah.
You know, do you have a lot of veterans back? Do you have a real program going? Are you trying to build something? If you're trying to build something, then I think sometimes at a place that's not historically winning, you need, hey, nothing makes someone feel good than getting wins or competing, because you don't want to just say, hey, we want to go play hammers right away, and then we're not used to winning, we're not used to being in these games, and then it just kills your morale, and it's cyclical, and it's just like last year, just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you want to go play competitive people that you can, but if you have an established program or you have a great team, or hey, we're going to challenge ourselves. They take 16 teams in the playoffs now, you know, but when they only took 8, I just looked at those years that they took 8. You got to go 8-2. If you go 7-3, you had to have some things happen.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you had to go 8-2. So you'd have to go 2-1 in your non-conference, and then you can only lose 1 in the conference game. You know what I'm saying? So I would just, that was like the formula we always thought when there was 8 teams. Now that there's 16 in, you can challenge yourself a little bit more. Now I'm not saying do something crazy, but it's fun to challenge yourself and see if you can beat Green, South Range, if you can knock them off, or they knock them off. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's like playing Uniontown Lake or Fitch or you know.
Can there be fool's gold like in those first 3 weeks with a non-conference schedule? I mean, teams can be better than their record, and obviously teams can be kind
Look
of
at South Range or Springfield.
Yeah,
they're 1-2 going into the league. Let me tell you something. I saw Springfield. It's not a 1. They just play good people. They challenge themselves. You know, they challenge themselves, and I think they're angry. I think they're going to play angry now. And I'm not saying they're unbeatable, but look at their history. They're going to play hard. Yeah. And if someone thinks that that's a light game, oh, they're 3-2. Okay, get ready. Get ready for that 3-2, because I think they're going to play like wild men.
Does that work for coaches? I mean, from a standpoint of kind of being able to pull that bulletin board material, like, okay, well, they are 3-2, so
look who they played.
I know, but you know what I mean? Because can you use that?
Can you fool someone until the game starts? Sure.
Yeah.
But once the hitting starts, there's, you know what I mean? Hey, coach, you're buffaloing us. You know what I mean? Because once they didn't start, I'd rather side on the air of over prepare and not say, because it's happened to us. You learn when you lose. Hey, we didn't approach these guys correctly, and I'd rather err on the side of over approach than, and there's a couple games on your schedule every year you have to get up and play. Hey, you have to get up and play these guys. I know this. We got to play Southern and United. Those are the two teams I thought in our conference. It played out yesterday.
Yeah.
On Friday, that those are two of the better teams. Now, can Lisbon and Wellsville and Columbiana beat us? Yes. So just take it week by week, especially have a young team. But know this. Those guys are different. So we have to be extra for them.
So my question, one of the things you said earlier that has been resonating in the back of my mind and stewing, if you will, you said that teams give you a different look.
Yeah.
Every time you play them. Now,
Sure.
I did the Latonia Valley game a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
They started with an onside kick.
Yeah.
And then there was all kinds of formations I had never seen before when I was watching film for Latonia.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, like they would spread most of the game.
Yeah.
They did those tight packages. They had all
Ransom Bone.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Yeah.
And that's I guess, how do you prepare? How do you, you have to almost do a little bit of the backyard football play on defense, or to kind of analyze that, right?
I talk to our kids about rules. We run a lot of power, counter, down schemes.
But like defense, okay. So for instance, not to cut you off, but
No.
they came out and there was a formation I've never seen before.
Yeah.
I mean, they had wing
quads.
tee, the quads, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, how do you prepare for that? You're probably yelling, your coaching staff's yelling like, hey, look at your assignment.
Yeah,
how do you do that?
You prepare through the week to, hey, look, this is what you line up to quads. This is what you line up to double tight. This is what you line up. Now, they're not showing this, but there's no law that says they can't do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we do things sometimes in practice that we're holding until the right moment. You're right. And then, it is what it is. You got to prepare kids and then coach them on the fly. And, it's there's no rules in this game where, hey, you can't do that. You didn't show that. Like, you can do whatever you want, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes teams pull out their tackles all the way out or guards, and sometimes you got to burn a timeout. Sometimes when somebody's driving, you got to get momentum, kill their momentum, and call timeout and try to get it back. You can control things in a football game from a coach's perspective. You can't do it all the time.
Oh.
If talent far exceeds one side or the other, but sometimes you can really control things or neutralize some things. And I think it just comes with experience. Done it for a long time, and there's tricks to it. There really is. It's like anything. There's tricks to what you're doing, man. I mean, you come out here, naturally talk, and you bring people on here, and you're naturally having conversations where a lot of people would maybe get stuck or get, hey man, what are we going to talk about? Like, you know what I mean? But
this wasn't all prepared at all. You and I just sat down and we just started talking.
Never is. But I mean, I'm used to talking to. I talked
that's
for
true.
17 years to kids.
This is our conversation on the phone that we just go back and forth.
This is wonderful.
So I've done 3-year games in the last 2 years. 2 of them have had onside kicks. One of them went really bad for the other team.
Went right to Mixon. He ran back the other way.
Good night. And then the kid still feels that to this day, I'm sure. And then Latonia kicked it, and for the first time ever, it went backwards.
I never saw nothing like it.
But then they marked it forward. Yeah. Right? They marked it a yard. Not that you care, but like there were the calls, and we're not going to talk bad on officials at all. But you and I both know there's an officiating shortage, and you're kind of stuck with what you get on a weekly basis.
I try to cooperate with the guys.
Sure.
They're not trying. I always tell them this. Hey, man, at the end of this, I know most of them. There's not a crew that I don't recognize or I've had. Hey, guys, they know me too. Hey, Hake's going to coach his kids hard during the game. He's going to coach like a wild man. He's trying to coach and win. I tell them, don't take it. I'm not taking it personal from you. Don't take it personal from me. I'll be the first one to buy you a beer at the ice house when the game's over. But during the game, man, I'm trying to win, and you're trying to do a good job refereeing, and that's how it goes. Yeah. It's not an enemy thing. It's just.
Is there a stigma with you? Like, do you ever hear? Because I know some coaches, people walk in and they go, "Oh, here comes so and so." I mean, do they go, "Oh, we got Hake"?
And I just was at the Curbstone Coaches Day at lunch, and I talked to Tony, the Montanas.
Yep.
And they're good guys. They're doing this a long time. I had them. I got an argument with them a couple weeks ago. They're good guys. They're as good as referees as you're going to have around.
Yep.
So it's not, it's a thing during the game. You're trying to win. Don't take it hey, guys, they know me. My dad's coached a long time before me. He's a better man than me. You know what I mean? But, they probably a lot of them think, why aren't you more like your dad? A lot more humble. And I'm trying to coach hard, though, during the game. It's not like I'm trying to upset somebody or I tell them you're taking it too personal. You know what I mean? But the other day, East Palestine, I think we had 12 penalties. They had 1.
Yeah.
And you have a conversation with them about it. I had a couple conversations with them about it. Like they're not holding. They're not running their feet. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just simple conversation. And it's like, don't take it personal. Move on, too. Don't live in the moment long because the game continues. And if you're going to get caught up with referees, you're in deep trouble.
Now, I know your dad is a huge influence on you
My hero,
and everything,
man.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of traits did you take from your dad's coaching style that you do incorporate in your
Just
everyday?
being good to kids. Make sure you're good to kids. I'm a lot more eccentric, maybe charismatic.
Where do you get that from? Is that mom?
Sure, I'll give credit to my mom. You know what I mean? But no, my dad was just a really good to kids. You know, he coached for 40-some years. Really good to kids. Treated them all kids really good. Special ed teacher, him and my mom. Yeah. So my dad coached on some great teams, and he was he does my he breaks down film with me and does the cards for defense and everything still today.
Wow.
Oh, he's good, really good, and but he's more or less in the background doing it and giving information. And I talk to him during the game, and we go back and forth. And there's times where I should just shut up and listen more, but everything's a process in this world, right?
I love that it was 2 Fridays ago when you were playing Latonia. I came down, talked to you and Dolph.
Yeah.
And the referees, they bust out their cameras. They're going to take pictures with your dad.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is that
They're
to
not
me?
taking pictures with me.
No.
They're not.
I do. You and I do.
Yeah, you're
we
cool,
get selfies.
Yeah, they just
but, like,
say,
to have...
Hey, we'll get enough of you here for the next 2 hours. We really like him.
Is that cool? I mean, for you as a son, as just a coach that loves good coaching, to have your dad as being that legendary piece of football past, and people still want to take pictures with him?
Yeah, he's my hero, man. It's fun when your hero is your mentor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm lucky. Hey, I'm the luckiest guy on the planet. And I've impacted a lot of people, hopefully in a positive way. Made some mistakes along the way, learned from my mistakes, admitted them, and became a better person because of it. Didn't back down or shy away from talking about things that, you live once. And don't be ashamed of things when there's nothing to be ashamed of. We all make mistakes. We're all people, but you learn from stuff. And then you move on. And then you try to be a good influence and a mentor to other people. And it's a circle of life, man. You know what I mean? But I'm just blessed I have an opportunity to coach with my father. Yeah. I've coached with him since I was 19 years old. Yeah. I'm 43 now. I've been with him every year. That guy's been with me every year. And a lot of success, most success I have, I attribute to him, helping me out and always guiding. But, when you have successful people, most people aren't self-made. Yeah. Most people are not self-made.
Nobody is.
They have people help them and guide them along the way.
And they give back.
It's
tenfold.
It is what it is.
So for you, I mean, you look at where you're at. I mean, I know you're going to sit there and be modest, but you've had a successful career. You continue to have a successful career wherever you go. What kind of, traits are you handing down to your coaches, and you hope that they take with them?
Coach from your heart and be good to the kids. You can coach a kid as hard as you want, but if you're going to break them down, just talk to them afterwards.
Build them back up.
Don't leave it at damn you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's easy to do that sometimes.
Sure.
I mean, you have kids that do personal fouls and stuff sometimes, and it's easy to say, you selfish, and then you leave it at that. You got to tell them why. Don't do that because of this. You're costing the team, and you're better than that. Yeah. And we had it the other night at East Palestine. And it's okay. It's, you know what? Kids are people, and they need to learn. And the greatest thing about football is it's a correlation on life. Yep. There's adversity. There's things that aren't going to go your way, things you can't control. Yeah. And then find a way to win, find a way to bounce back, find a way to be a good teammate, find a way to be coachable, find a way to get it done. And, and the kids that get it, I think at some point most kids will get it. You know what I mean? I just, my thing is this. At the end of the year, you have those all-league kids and you have the all-state kids. And the kids that make high school football are the ones that don't get the awards because they make up 85 to 90% of the game.
Yep.
Our heroes, our super Marvel heroes at the end of the thing, the Jay Sean Lindsays are, and I've had a lot of guys that are like superheroes. But they wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for all the average players that go out there and sell out and buy in to the team, and they just didn't have the ability to shoot the web out of their hand or do the Hulk smash or whatever it was that the superhero kid's able to do. But that boy's not able to shoot that web or do the Hulk smash. It wasn't for the average guys that just buy into the team and play their apples off for their family, their school, their community, and all those good things.
I love it.
That's all truth.
When you do have those superheroes, how do you keep them in check? It's tough.
The hardest.
It's tough.
No, you get on them the hardest because you tell them the fact of the matter is your name's in the paper. Hey, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yes, sir.
So if you're going to be the hero, then you're going to act like the hero. I'm really hard on my best players, really hard, and I mean that sincerely. I mean, you talk to them on the side, you're good to them as people, but hey, when practice starts, if something's not going well, it's your fault.
Yep.
My fault first, then yours. You know what I mean? And that's how it's going to go. And then once the kids realize, hey, he's putting me in a leadership role, then most of them respond properly.
Do they embrace that?
I don't know. I've always got along with kids.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Sometimes maybe there is a guy or two that you have to, hey, I'm reminding you why I'm like this.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you have those conversations one-on-one before practice, and you get that relationship going where it's, hey, man, this is how I am, and this is what I expect of you, and let's get it done. You know what I mean? Let's not play around. When we're out here, we have an hour and a half, 2 hours. I can't watch mediocrity out here.
Yeah.
Damn it, I'm pushing this thing.
Yeah. And
you need to be the guy that's helping me. You need to be like an extension of the coaching staff.
Yeah.
And the kids, you talk to a kid enough and call him in and talk to him, and the kid takes on that role, they're better for it.
I'm always interested because you have a cult-like following. You have it here at YSN. I mean, I don't know if you ever get to watch those Friday shows. They don't pick against you just because they're never picking against Coach Hake.
No, you know what?
No, Yoakley's coming for you if you pick against Hake.
Oh, my God. No, I embrace certain things. You know what I mean? I don't know. First of all, I love our country. I'm not going to back down. Yeah. That's not even political. I don't think that's Democrat, Republican. I love our country. And I respect the veterans.
Yeah.
I'm with our country. I think you should understand that, kids. I taught history for a long time. So, we get to live in this world and live like this because of people that fought and died. And if you don't start with that narrative, that's your country. Right. And then this is your family. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then you got to be good to your family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying the state is above your family, but I just recognize the country. And then, hey, your family. Sometimes you can't pick your family. You can't, but you can try to be a good family member and love your country, then love your community, love your school, and make it about that. That's how I've been able to do it. You know what I mean? I don't have the blueprint for everybody because I've never won a state title. Yeah. I think those are special situations too. We've been there close a couple times, but I think to win one, you have to have the right things aligned. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of luck that goes on with that.
Well,
a lot of skill.
Luck. You got to stay healthy. You have to have the right Jimmys and Joes. If you don't have that, then what are we talking about?
Right.
And then the kids have to be wired correctly. They have to be wired correctly. Marion Local has a community that is wired correctly. Mogador is wired correctly. Coldwater's wired correctly. Curlin's wired correctly. And there's expectations and there's demand, but the kids there are wired correctly about here's the end goal, and that's what we're going for. We're going for broke because I don't understand what Tiger does sometimes because Tiger out there, he divides a team up and they're playing wiffle ball the week of the state semifinal game out there in practice field. They're playing wiffle ball tournament. Now, you know what, I'd be blitzed, on a 9, preparing like Normandy invasion.
Yep.
He's out there playing wiffle ball with guys. He has a program going where expectations have taken over, and the identity of the school is the identity of the leader, and he's more of a he's a mentor to kids.
Do you think it's different when you prepare for a 16-week season as opposed to a 10-week season?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Oh yeah, I just think letting all the teams in the tournament, it's fun. There's no doubt about it. But it takes a little bit of the magic away of the Friday night.
Right.
Because, they're letting 16 in. You can look at that a couple different ways. Hey, it's great they're letting 16 teams in. You could play tougher people because you can get knocked off and say, hey, we just tested ourselves. But when there's 8 teams in every region going, don't slip. And if you slip, you're allowed to slip once or twice.
Yeah.
You can't be slipping 3-4 times or you're out. So I just think preparing for it, I look at it like this. Just take every game for holy seriousness. And approach that week like it's the Battle of the Bulge. And then and it's Gettysburg. And then you know what? When they're done and beat, then we can say whether they were good or not.
Yeah.
Like I tell the kids, don't tell me this team stinks. Don't tell me they're stinky. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Go prepare like they're the best team, and then when it's done, then we'll talk.
All right, I know you got to get out of here, but we've been promoting this the entire summer. You and Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, down south side. That's how. How about this? I'll fight Floyd Mayweather at South High, and then he can pay for the new stadium.
I think that's fair.
The money team got more money than God, right?
Yeah.
He has money falling out of his wall on his bag. So yeah, why not?
Why Floyd Mayweather?
Because he got all the money. Hey, I'm not going to go fight a professional boxer and not get paid, right?
That's true.
So yeah,
You're a pro too, technically, right?
Yeah,
You
but
step
that's
in
a
that
different
ring?
realm. Yeah, that's like.
What's the strategy? You get in with Floyd. You're gonna
try
knock
to
him out.
rock him. hey, right? Get cranked up and go out there. Put on a show like Apollo Creed coming out.
Oh,
You
that
know
would
what
be
I mean?
beautiful.
And then when it starts, dance around for a while and then hope, right? hey, right? And then be real serious. Hey, I'm gonna knock him out. I'm gonna knock him out.
This is it.
And I hope someone shows him this and says, "Hey, this guy in Youngstown say he'll knock you." I will, but to even get the fight, it's gonna cost you, Floyd. You got to build a stadium for these kids. Then I'll fight you. You know what I mean? Sure. Wouldn't that be great though, huh?
I would love it. I would
Coach
love
is
it.
gonna put him out there so we get this brand new stadium, man.
Floyd money.
And he got to
Mayweather.
pay for the doctor's bills because I'm probably gonna need about half a million.
You're gonna get your block knocked off, dude.
Oh man.
But if you could land one haymaker on him, do you think you can take him out?
Well, didn't David beat Goliath?
Of course he did.
Okay. Well, and then
You going slingshot?
anything's possible, right? Isn't that what it is?
What you're Kevin Garnett. Anything's
Is
possible.
anything's possible?
What would your gear be coming out? Would you wear the American flag, everything like
we're gonna
Creed?
drape ourselves in the red, white, and blue. Have veterans come out, little drummer boys. Hey, let eagles go flying. Wouldn't hey, wouldn't it be something? Fireworks. They were like, dude,
We know Bruce, right? We can get Bruce to hook it up.
Oh, Zolden will be shooting fireworks. Sibo will be smoking a cigar down in the front, screaming. Hey, look,
I can't.
I just don't think things could go sideways. It's not a movie. You know what I mean?
This isn't Disney.
Oh my God, things could go sideways. But hey, we get a new stadium, right?
That's all that matters.
It's for the kids.
You get a new
right?
stadium.
Yeah, it's for the
for the
kids.
kids.
Right. Hey.
All right, last question for you. If you could go anywhere in the world on vacation and eat whatever you want, what would it be and why?
You know what?
You're not a big eater, though.
I like food. I mean,
But you don't. I
like to go to Rome.
Okay, well, that doesn't
If you
surprise
said,
me.
hey,
at all.
where could you, hey, you can go anywhere you want. I like to go walk in the Roman Forum. That's what I like to do.
Sit up there
Because
like
I
Caesar.
think, well, that's the history of all of us. There, at some point or the other, either our tribe was conquered or we were the conquerors, and we were either slaves there or, our you know what I mean? When it comes down to it, if you trace your roots back, something's going back to Rome.
What do you think about, speaking of Rome, I heard on this the radio this morning that MGM got hacked or whatever. They had to give $15 million to these hackers to get their stuff back. Like, for that, like the casinos, right?
No.
Yes. That all of this stuff
That's
happened.
wild.
So, like, there were 7-hour wait lines, all that stuff. You couldn't bet unless you had cash. Like cash money, because you couldn't get to the machines. And
They
if
couldn't
you
find out who the hackers were?
Well, they found the hackers. They gave them $15 million to give all their information back and let them off the hook. What happened? Like, from your standpoint, because I know you're a historical buff and way more than I am. Like, Do you think that's just the beginning? Like, what can in a technologically driven
We're
world?
entering. Hey, look, human beings have been since we crawled out the muck. It's been 99.99999% of history.
Yeah.
This 0.0000001% is what we're living in right now.
Yeah.
This episode just started.
Oh, boy.
So you know what? I didn't know cell phones when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I didn't know. We still like played in the woods.
Oh boy.
Build forts.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the last time you drove through the neighborhood and you saw a bunch of kids playing outside. Street lights come on. Your kid better be home. I mean, there's just a lot of crazy stuff today
That's
nuts.
nuts.
Conversations in schools about boys and girls.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it is what it is. I don't remember when I was when I'm not saying right and wrong. Just I don't remember being in high school or elementary and someone asking you about your identity.
Yeah.
I just thought, what? You know what I mean? Like,
You identify as Macho Man.
ooh, yeah, or Hake-mania. Right?
Hake-mania.
What you gonna do, brother?
It's coming. It's coming
But
next month.
I know. I just think, hey, when I was growing up, it was the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah.
You did the Lord's Prayer in school. I remember every day in Middle Ridge, we did the Lord's Prayer until my senior year. 1998 was the last time they did the Lord's Prayer because it offended somebody.
Yeah.
And we're living in an age where, I'm not saying right or wrong, but hey, you have a country. You have a flag.
Yeah.
You have an identity. You've won world wars. You've won a civil war. You fought through a revolution. You fought through all these other skirmishes, and you've come out on top because you have an identity, and people are willing to sacrifice for an identity. At some point, you have to remember what your identity is.
And why you sacrificed.
And if you don't, you'll go by the way of the Romans.
Yep.
Because at some point in history, every civilization, at some point, forgot who they were. And then they lost. And that's the rest of the story.
And that's the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Andy Hake. Hake's Take every Monday right here.
Dude, it's fun.
On
This is
YSN.
awesome,
My
man.
guy.
Hey, you're cool as heck, man.
Forever.
And you do such a good job putting kids
Thank
up
you.
on a platform.
Thank you.
And bringing a voice and filling the void of the newspaper that went away.
Yeah.
The Vindicator, the Tribune. I know there exists. It's just...
Yeah, it's different.
It's different than what it was. And it's been replaced by what was the void. And you filled the void, man. And everybody tunes in. And... you're going to do great things, man. You're going places.
Appreciate
I always
you,
tell
brother.
you built the bottom of the pyramid already, dude. Wait till they see the rest of the pyramid when it comes up. Right?
I can't wait, man. I
Hey,
can't wait
you're
till
awesome,
next
dude.
Monday. Good luck Friday against Wellsville.
I appreciate it. Floyd Mayweather, Coach Hake.
Good luck against Floyd.
Hey.
As always, we'll talk about it next week as well.
We're going to let that eagle fly.
Let it fly. That's going to do it for this episode of the Power Hour. We'll see you tomorrow, 3 to 4,